Greetings, I'm Golden Light, and I'm back with a part two, speaking about the divine masculine energy, the energy that I've been reading from the collective for the last past month. And I'm going to be speaking about these twin flame connections a lot, because that's what I'm channeling. That's what I get when I'm going on TikTok. Like, the energy is really heavy, and a lot of these divine masculine need some guidance and need some assistance for as them healing and them being expressive and them coming up out of a dark space, soul recognition. Some is in the energy of being a player, exchanging energy with a lot of different females and also males. And when you take on all these different energies, what you're doing is you attaching these energies to your mane. Okay, some of these females do have succubus, sex demons that will attach to you. So after a while, things get old. You don't want to be exchanging your energy and just giving yourself up freely, even though you don't have a womb, because things are getting connected to your penis, to your key of life, and you don't have to be a divine feminine, a female, to have a sacred key of life and having a powerful status and a structure about yourself, so that you don't think with your penis. Okay, a lot of these masculine energies, and I'm not going to say divine because some is not living in a divine essence. They're living in a unhealed essence. Okay, and that's because they not doing their necessary work. They're not acting as a divine masculine as they are, and far as this King of Wand energy, this King of Wand is a very powerful king. Once you step up, wands deal with the fire energy. Okay, and a fire energy is very powerful, have a powerful structure when they're moving off a high frequency, where they're getting things done, they're stepping in their power, they know how to communicate and do their entrepreneurship, they know how to be of service of the collective. Far as being conscious, it's not about getting on the social websites and on a platform and pretending to be something that you're not. And when you're not on the social websites, you're not living that life. You're not about that life. You see what I'm saying? You have to, like, force me. I live it, I walk it, I talk it on an everyday basis. So I'm not acting like I'm an empress, and then when I get offline, I'm doing things that I know I'm not supposed to be doing. So once I lead, I'm leading by an example. That means the things that I am letting you guys know to do and to help you on your journey, I also have been there and done that, and I'm walking in my power and I'm living in my truth. So a lot is acting like everything is okay, and they're putting a big picture on for society and making it seem like there's something they're not, and they're really hurting in the inside. So when you're doing that, that's a part of ego death. You need to stop pretending to be something that you're not and lead by example. Live by your truth. Don't just speak the truth, but live by it as well. You know, face your demons, face your dark side, learn how to be expressive. And I'm going to give you an example of my childhood me and the way that I was, and why it's very important to express yourself and your emotions. I deal with a lot of pain. Like I said, I'm not afraid to say it. I don't say it so someone can have a pity party for me, because I always been an introvert, really. Like, I only had like maybe 3 to 4 people I hung with in my childhood days, and only one main person that I hung with totally, completely on and off for like my whole childhood, teenage years, you know. So this was something that I always have done, and it was because I felt my gifts. I just felt the fakeness. I just felt when people wasn't right for me. And when I felt that, and I'm noticing now, as today, the people that I acted really shady with and I had an attitude with and was very mean with, it was the people that was toxic. And my intuition was telling me that. But then I didn't know how to use my gifts. Okay? I forgot what I was about to say. I had so much channeling. But yeah, it's like you have to dig deep inside and focus on the thoughts in your head, and not sit there, but you have to release those thoughts. It's just like, for an example, you drinking water. If you don't drink water and you have to go to the bathroom, you know what happened. Like, your bladder get full and you be like, you can't barely hold it. So this is what happens when them thoughts sit there in your head. You know, this is an example, like, your thoughts are just like about to explode, like a volcano in your head. And it causes depression, tensions, anger, anxiety, irritation. And it came back to me. My example I wanted to give you of how I was in my childhood days, I had a lot of trauma and pain that I deal with. So I was very stubborn. Like, when someone did something to me, I just came off so aggressive, attitude, mean, jumpy, very egotistic, like, you know, you can't tell me nothing, whatever. And I held that grudge forever, like, inside. And the feeling of holding that grudge was just so, it just made me a different person. It just made me so bitter and just somewhat evil inside. And that's because I was holding the trauma. I was holding the hurt. I was holding the grudges inside. And that was my younger me. And that's a part of the ego as well, because you're moving off your ego. So it's like, when somebody say something, you like jumpy, like you got an attitude, you like, you just talk, you gotta have your expressions of how you talk. It's just like rude. And you come off, when you speak to people like that, it's like they can feel it. They like want to back up, like, wow, like. And that's the energy that you project onto others when you haven't healed and when you haven't released the emotions. It's like, it's really discomfort for someone to encounter that type of reaction from you. Okay? And you're like, wow. Like, I had took my client somewhere to a job interview, and a lady just came off and we went in there and we was really nice, and she was like, rah. It was like the bitch was like, excuse me. It was just like she came off like, rah. I mean, that's how powerful and just disrespectful and uncomfortable her energy was. It was like, wow. And I was like, I told like the security guard and my client, I'm like, wow, she wanted to fight. Like she wanted to just scratch us. Like that energy was horrible. But that's how you come off to an individual when you're not healed, when you're living in a egotistic manner. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's always best to conquer it, deal with it. It can be done. Like, you have to tackle it, especially if you want to live a happy, a peaceful, a joyful, a happy life. You know, some people live in that energy and they be almost like in a late 30s, early 40s, sometimes even 50 and 60 years old, and even probably older than that, because the actual age is go by the soul of the person. So some people can be 16 or 17 and have a mindset of a soul of a 30-year-old, you know. And that's why I always knew I was an older soul, because I resonated with older women and they was more mature. So I resonated with more mature women, and they happen to be older, around my older siblings' age. So that's why I always knew, and I always said my soul is old, because certain individuals that was the same age as me, they really was like young-minded to me. They wasn't grown as I was. So I always just knew I was on a higher level of consciousness and wiseness. I always knew that. Excuse me. And I just wanted to get on here and shed some light. You know, like I really wrote a lot of things down that I wanted to go over. So let me go over my notes, because this is very important. And if I repeatedly say this, I'm saying it because take action. Take action. If I do a video on part 1 and I repeat myself, this is telling you to get a pen and piece of paper, take notes, and fix yourself. And I always say this, and if I don't say it on all videos, please feel free to contact me if I can help you. Okay, I'm also going to come back with a ritual for you all, to help you with your emotions, of expressing them, and also a different stone. So I have my book, so I had to pull it out because it's so many, and I don't want to mix up the names. I want to make sure I give you all the accurate information, like I always say as well. So I'm going to come back and give you some healing stones to help you also with these emotions, because you have to tackle this and step into your power and be the best version of yourself. And I want to help you get there. Okay, I'm Golden Light. I'm always here to shed light. I'll be back. Peace, love, light, and also darkness.